Happy Sunday and happy Valentine's Day. And welcome, everyone, to episode 17 of Video Game Club. As always, I'm Tyler, and I have with me today the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. DJ the Internet, Austin.
Hello.
And of course,
DJ the Internet, okay.
Someday he's going to have to be called out for all of these things that he is. I don't know if he's representing it very well.
Yeah.
Where's the DJ?
I mean, you know.
You don't know. You don't know what I do in my side time.
You're
Yeah,
right,
you don't know. You don't know what's going on. And of course, it would not be a Video Game Club meeting without the amazing and wonderful Mox.
Hello.
Hello. And today is another special day because we have a returning special guest joining us from the deepest, darkest depths of the internet.
We have to stop
Chris.
Introducing guests with the deepest, darkest depths of the internet.
You're not going to come back.
We gotta come up with something
I
else.
want mine forever to be the deepest, darkest depths of the internet. It feels very appropriate, and I like it.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Yay.
I'm good.
Good.
It's very cold, but I'm good.
Yeah, it is cold.
Well, I would think it'd be warm at the deepest, darkest depths of the internet, considering it's close to the core.
No, it's so deep that the sunlight doesn't reach us, so it's very cold down here.
It's like the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah.
There's nothing to warm you but your own tears.
Anyway, as I mentioned before, this is Video Game Club, where every 2 weeks we discuss a game voted on by our wonderful friends in the Bombchu Discord and discuss that game right here on twitch.tv/BombchuTV. And if you can't catch us live, no problem. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Bombchu. You'll find it. Don't worry. Now, before we get started, what is your favorite Mario game, Mox?
This was... I didn't have any time to think.
No, you didn't.
The one... I don't even know what it's called because you put me on the spot. The one that's on the Nintendo 64 with the
Super
painting.
Mario 64?
Yes.
Okay. Austin, what about you? What's your favorite?
I'm going to have to cheat and give you 4 answers because I broke
Oh
up Mario in
gosh.
2D and 3D. And if I'm going 2D, it's like a tie between Super Mario 3 and Super Mario World. But if we're going 3D, then it's got to be either Galaxy 2 or Mario Odyssey. I feel like Odyssey hasn't been out long enough for me to really define it as a favorite. But
How long does it need to be out? Is it like cheese?
it's still relatively new.
Yeah, it's pretty
You
good.
gotta have time to let it breathe, reflect on it a little bit.
What about you, Chris?
Aerate. I'd probably have to go Super Mario World. That's always been my go-to.
It's so
When I
good.
think of Mario, that's what I think of.
Yeah. I would say, for me, Super Mario World is definitely number 2. And my number 1 would be Super Mario 3. It's just so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a really random, unexpected question for you guys. But this one should not be as random and unexpected. Last episode, we talked a little bit about side quest, which is that we are playing Dragon Quest XI, and in a while, and some weeks, we will be having a Video Game Club episode dedicated to Dragon Quest XI. And I was just wondering, how's everyone's side quest going? Austin?
It's going pretty well. I'm playing the regular, vanilla version, not the definitive edition S.
Sad
and
version.
It's not sad. It's a great game that got great reviews when it launched, and I'm finding out stuff that I'm missing from talking to Tyler, but so far it hasn't been anything that I've been too sad about. Yeah, I'm about 12 hours in. I just made it through Octagonia, and the translation, I have to say, is really incredible. They have done some really playful things that have made me laugh pretty hard that I don't think could have been done as just a direct translation. So I'm every town I go to, I find some new stuff to laugh at. The game's a lot darker than I expected.
Ooh.
There's like one of the early enemies that you fight is like a cactus with a spear, and when you kill it, the spear flies up in the air and stabs him in the stomach, and it's just like, oh geez.
Oh yeah.
And some of the story elements I won't spoil, but yeah.
Well,
I'm already tired of the overworld music. That's one thing that I'm probably jealous of you guys over. Is that I have the MIDI version, like non-orchestrated music, and the overworld music in this version is just it's bad for me, anyways.
Yeah.
I've played a couple of 3DS ones, and you could like download like patches where they would put it in the orchestrated version, and it's not comparable. You need the orchestrated.
I just got to Gallipolis. I just got there. So that's where I'm at in the game. I got party of 4, about to go into the horse place. What about you, Mox?
I misunderstood the directions and only played half as much as I should have, but I spent a lot of time walking around towns and talking to people, so I'm even further behind than you guys. So, sounds like I need to catch up.
What about you, Chris? Are you participating in side quest, or is this not one for you?
Oh god, no, I hate Dragon Quest.
You hate it? It's classic.
It is. I don't know. There's something about Dragon Quest that's just never appealed to me. It
They're
takes a
also
lot for me to
different.
get into a classic RPG, and I don't know. Dragon Quest was just never my thing.
It's just not for him, Mox. That's all, that's what it is.
So
Yeah, but that's how side quest is going. Yeah, so hopefully we'll be discussing that all together, minus Chris, in the future.
he's not welcome. You can go back to the depths of the internet.
Crawl back to my dark hole.
The games for this episode were suggested by me, and they were Metro 2033 Redux, Ori and the Blind Forest Definitive Edition, and Super Mario 3D Land. And everyone who's here, who's listening right now, knows that we are definitely talking about Super Mario 3D Land, but if you weren't happy with that, then head over into the Bombchu Discord to make your voice heard. Now, let's jump into Super Mario 3D Land, a mascot platformer. Developed and published by Nintendo, specifically developed by the Nintendo Tokyo division, based in Japan, of course. Released November 3rd, 2011 on 3DS in Japan, coming a couple days later to parts of Europe, North America, worldwide. And this was the big fall game of the 3DS launch. Before moving forward, did anyone here own a 3DS at launch?
No.
Also no.
Yes.
I got mine not like before the price drop, but sometime a bit after launch, since there was like no games for it at launch.
But you could play your DS games.
I had a DS for that.
But the new ones were pretty.
That's great. I just wanted something to play on it that I couldn't play on my DS.
I didn't have one, but I did buy one much later, and I've been really happy with it.
Oh,
So
God,
what?
it's the best system. Sorry, keep going.
No, you're good. So what else was going on in 2011? Well, for games, we had things like Skyrim, released on 11/11/11.
Oh my God, I forgot the stupid like black, ones from the black. Oh, you're finally awake meme, and just like sprung into my head.
Portal 2, Modern Warfare 3, Batman Arkham City, Skyward Sword, Little Big Planet 2, Gears 3, Dead Space 2, and of course many, many others. And hardware, we had the 3DS launch and the PS Vita launch in Japan only.
Wow.
Did anybody here have a Vita?
No.
Yeah, I still do.
That's funny. You think the Vita's a real handheld?
It was
Remember when
in
Bioshock was coming to the Vita?
Nope.
it was in House of Cards.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
that a
Is that a
Vita?
PS Vita? Yeah. And of course, the engine is some sort of in-house engine that they use. So let's talk a little bit about the history. Let's start with the Nintendo division in Tokyo. So it was created in 2002 as a way to recruit talent in Tokyo, since not everyone wanted to travel to Kyoto. In 2003, 20 members from the Kyoto office relocated to the Tokyo office, and they were mostly from the Super Mario Sunshine team. Remember that game that they didn't finish? Super Mario Sunshine?
Oh.
Yeah, it's sad. They recruited people from Sega, Koei Tecmo? How do you say that? Koei?
I think it's
Koei?
how I say
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. and Square Enix. Their first project was a banger, Donkey Kong Jungle Beat.
That one's actually pretty fun.
I've heard mixed things.
My favorite part about that game is that people have taken that controller and used it to speedrun other games.
Yeah, that is really cool. That was followed up by Super Mario Galaxy. And after the success of Super Mario Galaxy, they opened up another department, which was the second department at the Tokyo office. And they made Super Mario Galaxy 2, then Super Mario 3D Land, 3D World, NES Remix 1 and 2, and Toad's Treasure Tracker. So, I mean, some bangers, right? I think everyone would agree here.
Definitely some bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit more about 3D Land specifically. As we mentioned before, it's a platformer, and it's been described by Miyamoto as a 3D Mario that plays as a 2D Mario game. I mean, it's pretty traditional. It's, it's a regular... It plays a lot like a regular Mario game, right? Like, it's pretty linear. It's got traditional side-scrolling elements. There is, there are some, open worldness to it. You can move in, 3 dimensions, but for the most part, it's go from point A to point B. The health system and everything is standard Mario, right? You start off, you're big Mario, then you become little Mario. You can dash. There were 2 new moves, a barrel roll and a roll jump. It's, like we said before, it's got the classic, go to the goal pole, there's a time limit. It's a standard Mario game. It's got the traditional items, Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, Starman. It's got some items that return from Super Mario Bros. 3, like the Super Leaf. But it behaves quite differently, which is a bit sad, I think. We can talk about that more in our reviews. I'm sure Austin has some stuff to talk about there. It does use the touchscreen, but I mean, come on. Does it really? It's just to get your item mainly, right? Everything else you can use the D-pad for. It had the boomerang flower in it, which was cool. The propeller box. It's got the prize box, which is interesting. And then it's got 2 special powers. One is if you lose 5 lives in a row. And that is the, I think it's just called the invincibility leaf. It's gold. And then there's also, if you die 10 times in a row, which I didn't even know this existed, there's something called a P-Wing, which takes you right to the end of the level near the goal pole. Did anybody encounter that while they were playing the P-Wing?
I can't imagine too many people other than small children have encountered the P-Wing.
I would hope so.
These were pretty controversial additions when they were announced. But I think a lot of people were like, this is just making it too easy. You can skip levels, this is stupid. But I think it was done more to make it accessible for people who aren't as good or who want to feel like they can do it even if they're pretty small, like you said. But they're totally skippable. It's really easy to avoid them, but they're not really talked about until it just doesn't get mentioned. So it just suddenly appears and it's what's this? So if you accidentally grab it, then it's kind of this mark of shame on your profile because it changes something if you use it, but it doesn't lock you out of any part of the game. Yeah.
I had no idea what it was whenever I saw it. I was like, oh. And then I was like, oh, I chose baby mode. I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Each course that you play on contains 3 hidden star medals, and those are required to unlock certain levels in the world. I think there may be 1 in each world that uses you need a certain amount. There's also the classic Toad houses, which exist, which they give you items and such. And there's also some Street Pass functionality, which I did not use it in today's world. I don't think there's much Street Pass going on these days.
Can't imagine there's too many people still hauling a 3DS around in their pocket.
When they killed Home Pass, Street Pass died.
They killed Home Pass?
Yes.
I didn't.
Ages ago.
So you can't even do it anymore?
No.
Oh. Wow.
Home Pass, not Home Pass is the.
It was where you could Street Pass just from your house,
using your road.
connecting to other
right.
people.
Yeah. Street
really
Pass is
cool.
like they've killed a lot of Street Pass. Like Nintendo has gotten rid of a lot of the functionality of Street Pass still, but you can, I guess, if you happen to run into someone. But Home Pass was the height of Street Pass.
Okay. So yeah, that's kind of as far as like a generic, we summed up Super Mario 3D Land. We'll talk a bit more about the plot and development, but that's kind of, it, right? Would you guys say? Do you have anything else to add?
No.
No, yeah, that's about it.
Wait, when can we talk about Tanuki Mario?
I mean, you can talk about them right now if you're not going to be spoilery.
No, it's about just in general. Like, I feel like this
Go
game
for
is
it.
like, so if the later one was about Cat Mario, then this one was about Tanuki Mario, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Yeah.
Well, I feel like, I understand why they chose like Tanuki, but Tanuki has so much like Japanese lore that doesn't translate over to anybody else that's outside of Japan. And I feel like it's gross to use Tanuki in a children's game.
I mean, it was in Mario 3 as well.
I know,
Yeah.
I understand, but that's like, it was brought in from, it didn't matter as much. But to keep using Tanuki is gross to me. I object to the Tanuki Mario, and that's my statement.
Do you want to go into depth for people who don't know?
Well,
Yeah.
so like Tanuki's like a, I play a lot of Yokai Watch, so you have to read about all the yokai. And yokai in general are like, just, I don't know, like spirits, I guess, in Japanese like folklore that do things, usually mean things. There aren't a lot of nice yokai. And the Tanuki yokai is usually like meant to make people look stupid. That's like the whole point of this yokai. But he also has like some weird like aspects of like luck. So if you like a lucky cat in a way, so you put him in your store to like bring luck to your store. But like the big thing is that it has enormous testicles, and that's like the whole point of the Tanuki. And I don't know why. And like every child in Japan that knows about Tanuki knows this fact about Tanuki. So I feel like all these kids are playing, Mario being like, where's the Tanuki's testicles? This is not representative of what a Tanuki is.
Is that a big part of the Tanuki Yokai and Yokai Watch? Because I know that's also a kid's game.
It is not.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's
I've never heard that about Tanuki.
I don't think there's a Tanuki yokai, like a straight up yokai Tanuki in Yokai Watch.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I'm thinking I can't think of one. Tom Nook is the closest thing, but he's obviously not in Yokai Watch.
Tom Nook got some big balls, apparently.
He certainly does if he's charging those kind of interest rates on the mortgage.
Oh, gosh.
All of no interest.
Well, I guess it's not interest, but still.
Maybe he puts it in the fee,
Oh my god, there is one. It's new. His name is T-Stroyer. He's a boss in Psychic Specters. I didn't get that far.
I haven't played that one.
But he's like a kettle Tanuki, and where his testicles would be, he is an enormous bell. So I feel like it's just a straight up reference.
Okay.
I did not think we were going to be talking about testicles.
I'm
on
sorry.
This episode.
I just
That's all right.
look. It even has it on the Wikipedia page. The bell is representative of the Tanuki's signature testicle. Anyway,
I'm sorry you feel this way about the Tanuki suit. I have
it's
complaints about it, but it's other reasons.
okay.
Yeah, same.
Well, I'm sorry. It was just that's what I.
Yeah, my complaints are more mechanical than anything else. And not the mechanics of magical testicles.
They're lucky. They're not magical.
Oh, excuse me. That also scientific property of luck.
Oh my god, in French its name is Tanuki. The French word for
And
te.
moving on, gonna put on the
Sorry.
spoilers tag because we're gonna be talking about plot, and everyone knows Mario is just filled with spoilers, right?
All about the
Yeah.
plot.
What? Yeah, I don't even know we're gonna spoil.
That deep Mario lore.
Well, we can spoil a little bit here. So
Yeah.
we can talk about how it starts. So there's this I don't know what you'd call it, a tail tree. Like it's just filled with the power of the Tanuki suit power ups. And it's on Princess Peach's, like it's on the castle. All the leaves go all over the place, and you and the princess goes as well. You have to, of course, get Princess Peach from Bowser. As you play along, you get more and more letters from Bowser, and man, at the very end of the game, I got trolled so hard. I did not see it coming. The old cardboard cutout of Princess Peach, and then they make you play more levels. I was like,
were you mad? Were you like, I'm not gonna do this?
I was mad. I was furious.
Well, it's not only more levels, it's like you play a level and then it's like, okay, unlock this castle with this number of coins. So
Yeah.
You've been collecting them
Yeah.
until now.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And I was collecting coins, so it wasn't that bad, but yeah.
Yeah, thankfully I didn't have to backtrack for coins.
Yeah, same.
Because they're so stupidly easy to get.
The majority of them
The majority
are
of
not that
them,
hard
yeah.
to find.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and you save the princess, and then once you've restored the tail tree, a photo falls on the ground, revealing that Luigi is behind bars.
Ah!
No! And then you
Poor
start
Luigi.
Special World 1, and this is where the game starts. What you
Yes,
didn't
this is
realize...
the end of the tutorial.
Yeah, what you didn't realize is that you've just been playing the tutorial the whole time.
8 worlds of tutorial.
I think is it the first, after the first special world you unlock Luigi, Austin?
Yeah, you get him from completing that first castle.
Okay. So there's 7 special worlds, and then you have to is there like another one is there an 8th one as well?
There is an 8th special world, yeah.
Okay. When does this secret level happen?
Well,
That
so,
we-
okay.
Yeah.
You go through the special worlds, and each castle and maybe some other levels in them have more coin unlocks to get through. And in World 8, I think every level requires you to... it requires a coin unlock, to where I think the final level...
Mm-hmm.
The quote-unquote final level is 290 coins.
Okay.
So once you complete that level, then you get a few more indicators on the levels that you've already completed, and to unlock the actual final level, you have to get every coin from every star coin from every level.
Okay.
You have to get the golden flagpole, which means touching the top of the flagpole at the end of every level. There's an indicator for that. And you have to beat every level as both Mario and Luigi.
Including the tutorial worlds? Yep. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Which, I went and got... I went and got all the coins, but then, man, replaying all the levels again as the other brother was just... Why? Why did you add that requirement?
Does Luigi
and
even
the
play any
final-
different than Mario?
He does. He jumps higher, and he's a little more slippery.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm not doing that ever.
Ugh.
He's
Why'd
actually
you have to use
my
that
favorite
word?
to play with. Like, once I unlocked him, I stopped playing as Mario entirely. But I didn't want to go replay all those new levels as Mario, and I didn't want to go replay all the boring tutorial levels, right? It's like,
Yeah.
But the final level is not like usually when they make a requirement like that, if I remember right, for Mario Galaxy, it was just kind of a little like celebration level, like, hey, you did it, woohoo! But in here, it's actually like a pretty fun and like mildly difficult level. And so locking it behind that was really just, I didn't do it this playthrough. I did it in my original playthrough, and I don't know if that level was worth that level of effort, but it's there if you really just want something to do when you're on the go.
Yeah.
On the go.
I mean, if you're really in.
Yeah, I mean it's a
as one
3DS
is.
game, right? Not anymore, but
No.
back when it came out.
Yeah. All right. Any more spoilery stuff? Nope. Okay. We're gonna talk a.
Oh wait,
Oh,
sorry.
nope. Do it.
One more spoiler
Do it,
thing.
do it.
I will say I don't know if this is something that we should talk about in the non-spoilery section, but in the special worlds, I know a lot of us have a beef with the Tanuki suits mechanics, there's a different version of the Tanuki suit in the special worlds. Like
What?
the original Tanuki suit pretty much goes away, and instead of a brown leaf, there's like a gray leaf that pops out of boxes instead.
Huh.
And visually the only difference on Mario and Luigi is you wear a scarf or like a neckerchief.
Okay.
But you actually get like the statue power. So like if you are in the air and you press a button, then you'll turn into a statue and be invulnerable. Kind of like the original Mario 3, because in Mario 3 you had the raccoon suit, which just gives you the ears and lets you fly and float.
Yeah.
And then the Tanuki suit, which is that, but you can also turn it into the statue. So I don't know why they didn't just make that the distinction here, but
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, I know I was the only one who really like played deep into the special world, so I figured I should bring that up.
Yeah. No, good call. All right, we're gonna turn off the spoilers. We're gonna dive a little bit into like just kind of like the development of the game, like from announcement to being out, and then we'll go into the reception, and then we'll give our. And I have one little fun piece of trivia, and then we'll give our opinions. All right, so non-spoilery Mario stuff. So development. So we mentioned before, it was developed by the division in Tokyo, and the game director was Hayashida, and the game took 2 years to develop. It started off with a team of 2, which grew to a team of 30, which is kind of nuts.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It was announced 1 year before it would come out. Miyamoto announced it in November 2010, and he said that there would be a 3D Mario game as well as a 2D Mario game coming out for the 3DS. He described the 3D game as completely original and a cross between Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario 64.
I mean, in the control scheme and like, so you got the level layouts or the level selection style of Mario Galaxy, and you've got a bunch of the controls from Mario 64. So like technically, some details there are true, but I feel like that's kind of like saying one of those misleading, like, oh, it's like it's like this game and this game had a baby.
Yeah.
And it's never like
exactly.
that. It's like one aspect from each of these.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Super Mario Land was designed to bridge the gap between 2D Mario games and 3D Mario games. That I think it did do a good job of. And of course, Miyamoto's whole philosophy is of keeping the games fun and nature, and making sure everyone can experience the game. That's definitely here with the
I think you
special
forgot to
powers.
make the game fun.
The main concern when they were developing it was they wanted to make sure it appealed to 2D Mario fans and 3D ones as well, and that you wouldn't get lost while moving around. Like you would know, like when you jump somewhere, that you're gonna land like on this specific square, that you wouldn't get lost. There was all kinds of different aspects of the gameplay, like inspirations, such as like the Legend of Zelda franchise, which we we talked before in the pre-show that that there were some levels that were definitely inspired by the Legend of Zelda. There was a pro skater suit, which is pretty crazy.
What?
And yeah, it didn't make
like
it.
Tony Hawk?
I guess, yeah. And then there was
That's wild.
there was
would've been
also
amazing.
there was also the ability to make Mario really, really extreme and big. And there was a feature that replaces Princess Peach's face with like a photograph face as well. So I guess you could put your sweetheart on Princess Peach to save her.
That would have been kind of neat.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Nightmare fuel
Yeah.
Probably, more than likely, yeah.
with the 3DS camera. God.
And
Could have made some great internet memes out of that, though.
that'd be great. And as Austin mentioned in the Discord, whenever we put this to a vote, this is like an homage to the Super Mario Land games that were released on Game Boy. So they were going for like the Land games are like the portable ones, and then the World games are the console games. And that, that's why it's 3D Land, and that's why we have 3D World with 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, which just came out on Friday. So it's exciting. There was a large earthquake and tsunami that occurred on March 11th of 2011, and that did affect the development quite a bit. But, like with COVID or anything else, they were able to work remotely, and they got creative with doing things like testing out the game and stuff. Yeah, so that's just like a little, little trip down memory lane on the development stuff of the game. The game was received quite well. Lots of 9s. And sold 12.7 million copies worldwide as of March 31st, 2020. So, yeah, it's a great game. So I don't know what you guys are on about, but Mass Media thought this was amazing.
Yeah, I bet they did.
And then, you know, would this be a video game if PETA wasn't involved?
Oh, God.
Wait, what?
I remember this.
I don't remember this.
So Super Mario 3D Land's release prompted criticism from animal rights organization PETA, who created a browser game titled Mario Kills Tanuki, alleging...
Tanuki he's not real.
Just wait.
Oh my god.
Alleging that the Tanuki suit power-up promoted the live skinning of animals for fur. PETA received negative attention for the game, which led to a response claiming it was tongue-in-cheek and a fun way to call attention to a serious issue. So, Mox, maybe, you know, it's not about the Tanuki, even though it's called that. It's more about killing a raccoon.
How dare you grab a leaf and become a Tanuki? How dare you?
It's magic.
It's magic.
It's also not a real animal.
Well, there is like an animal that's like, oh, this is what the Tanuki like, you know, is in, you know, when it was folklore, but it's not a Tanuki. It's like it's a raccoon.
Yeah.
You become a Tanuki in the game. You don't become a raccoon.
Like that's ridiculous even by PETA standards, I feel like.
Yeah. I cannot, when I read that, I was just like, what? No.
Like, I'm not surprised. That sounds exactly like something PETA would do, but that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit crazy. Yeah, so that is a little quick summary of Super Mario 3D Land. Before we go on to hot takes and our opinions and what we thought of this game,
boy.
Is there anything else that you want to bring up about Super Mario 3D Land? Awesome.
This did importantly use the 3D effect for actual gameplay.
Really well.
On the 3DS, which most of the time it was just kind of a, hey, you can see it in 3D, hoo-hoo. But like, there were actually like forced perspective levels where you couldn't, in 2D, you could not see how the level was laid out properly, like in the depth of where the platforms were, and so like it would try to deceive you into thinking it looked one way, but it was actually another, and the 3D was supposed to help you figure those out.
That was a really cool use of the 3D as well.
Did this game come out before Treasure Tracker? Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay. That totally anticipated Treasure Tracker for me.
What?
Like the Escher kind of like, oh, look the coin looks like it's here, and then you get to the thing, and it's like, gotcha. It was over there.
Yeah, Captain Toad actually, those treasure tracker levels got introduced in the sequel to this, which is Mario 3D World, and then it was interesting enough that they
made a game.
Decided to make a full game out of that.
Yeah, which is also pretty good, from what I hear. Yeah.
Yes, I love that game.
And it's co-op. Play it with your sweetheart on Valentine's.
It should be played on a 3DS. It should not be played on a Wii U or Switch.
It should be played on a Wii U for sure. A 3DS is acceptable, but don't play it on the Switch. I mean, you can play it on the Switch. But the Wii U is the best version.
But the 3D
can you elaborate
is so
a bit on why that is?
I can't see in 3D, so I'm not going to comment on that. But
okay.
There are specifically in the Wii U version that I don't know what they got changed into on the Switch version, because I played through it and it was just like I don't remember. I don't know what levels these things were on, but like there were platforms that had fans where if you blew onto the
it's the best
3DS controller, or not the 3DS controller, you could. Yeah, this is why. The 3DS is more comparable to the Wii U in terms of what you can do, but like on the gamepad, you could blow on it to like make those platforms rise up, or to you could tap on things very quickly. Like you can do that on Switch, but only if you're really playing handheld. Otherwise, you have to do. It was a game that was very much built for the Wii U, and the 3DS can do that as well, but the Switch just can't. Do that in certain ways. It's still a great game.
Do you think that Nintendo could make a mobile version and it would be like pretty decent?
They did. Oh,
yeah.
do you mean on your phone?
Yeah,
Ugh,
sorry, your phone.
No, because then they're going to charge you for each level.
Well, like functionally, it could be done.
Yeah.
It's just, would it be good on as a mobile game, like for the other strings that come attached with that? I don't know.
It would depend on like
functionally,
what studio they
they could
handed
do
over
that on a
to
phone for
and
sure.
Yeah.
how they implement the pay model for it.
It just seems like it's the way you're describing it, Austin's and Mox. It seems like it's very like heavy on the interaction. And you know, when you have a phone and you're touching it and you know spinning it and all kinds of things.
Maybe an iPad. type.
Yeah. I could see it being beneficial.
Don't give them any ideas.
Oh yeah. And
I don't think they're ever bringing Captain Toad back, but we'll see.
what?
Don't say it.
I don't get the impression that that's ever gonna happen
They
again.
made it
but,
on
you know,
3 different systems.
they wanted to get their money back. They ported everything from the Wii U just about.
Because
Yeah.
nobody bought a Wii U.
I did.
I did too.
I
did
played
too.
Axiom Verge on it.
I played Splatoon and Mario Maker, and that was literally it.
I'm playing through Wind Waker right now. One day I'll finish it. One day. Yeah. So that's Super Mario 3D Land in a nutshell. Now let's talk about our personal takes. Let's
Oh, boy.
start on a higher note. I'll go first. So I just want to say that starting out, I have not finished many 2D Mario games. And I know this isn't like a 2D Mario game. It's like a 3D, you know, Super Mario 3D Land. It's 3D, but to me, it plays a lot like a 2D Mario game. Like a 3D Mario game to me is like 64 Sunshine, Galaxy, Odyssey, and this plays a bit different. So I really enjoyed it at first. It was exciting and like the levels were really fun, but towards the end I was getting a bit bored. For me, the platforming like seemed a bit off, and I think it's the thumbstick on the 3DS. It was just uncomfortable. Like sometimes I would get in like really weird positions with my thumb. And I don't know if that's just like me, if I'm just like my thumb's just dumb or I'm dumb.
What kind
But-
of 3DS do you have?
The XL, the new I have a new 3DS actually is what it's called.
A new 3DS XL?
Yep.
Hmm.
That's yeah. Yeah, I thought it felt like kind of like a cheap way of doing a 3D game. I thought it would have been better to just make a super awesome 2D game, but what do I know? I mean, it sold 12 million copies, so who cares?
They're doing something right, I guess.
I didn't venture into the second half of this game too much. But yeah, overall, I would say it was a pretty meh Mario game, but it was a decent game overall. Like, I did have fun. It's just if I'm going to play a Mario game, I'm not picking this one. So for me, like, overall, if you just like want to play a fun game, like, yeah, 7 out of 10. If you're looking for a good Mario game, don't even come near this one. That's what I'll say.
That's the positive review?
I mean, well, I feel like you guys are going to go way more downhill, but maybe I'm wrong. Mox, do you have more positive review?
No, I don't. I'm not a big Mario game person. I like platformers, but I like platformers that have a story or like have like a reason why you're bouncing around in a Tanuki suit without testicles on a platform.
So you're a Mario Galaxy fan.
I liked it, but it was hard. Maybe it was just hard for me to play. It was like a hard game for me. But I did like Mario Galaxy. There was more to it, but not enough still. I want like Banjo-Kazooie platforming where there's like themes and I don't know, powers and other stuff. Anyway, I liked the Legend of Zelda references, but then I got confused when I thought I heard like Castle Tower music when you're running around in, I was about to say Ganon's Tower in Bowser's Tower. I don't have any other opinions other than I would never play this game, and I didn't really like playing it, and I didn't finish it.
Wow.
But I watched it. It was like a 2-hour playthrough. How long did it take you guys to finish this game? Longer than 2 hours?
It didn't take that long.
Maybe, like, I think I spent 3.5, maybe 4 hours, and I got a little bit into the special worlds doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finished out the special worlds and I played. I know I played a decent amount longer because of that. The special worlds definitely take longer, but it still was not a super long game.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoyed the use of the 3D. I think they did. When you watch like a 3D movie and you're like, or if you don't watch it in 3D, but it was made in 3D, you can be like, oh, that was in 3D and it was like a stupid cheesy thing.
Mhm.
I feel like this game really made good use of the 3D in a not cheesy, fun way. But I'm sad for people who can't see it. I didn't think about that. It's so sad. But I'll tell you, it looked good. Looked great. That's it. That's all my opinions. I feel bad rating it because like the game itself was fine. I just hated every minute I spent playing it.
Yeah.
So maybe like a 4. I'll give like a 4.
A 4.
That's
All right.
fair.
I respect it as a game, but do I want my hour and a half that I spent playing it? Yes, I do.
Chris, what did the deepest, darkest depths of the internet think about this one?
Well, I do not respect Mario 3D Land as a game.
Oh.
For me, a Mario game needs two things, regardless. Even if the rest of it doesn't have anything else innovative, it needs these two things. It needs tight platforming controls, and it needs good level design.
Mhm.
Mario 3D Land does not have either of those, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, I would actually disagree, but that's interesting. Keep going, sorry.
It's every time I would get to a level, or just playing the game in general, everything felt real floaty and like Mario was constantly felt like he was sliding around.
Mm-hmm.
I was constantly having trouble with the depth in some of the levels. Like I just had a hard time figuring out where Mario was relative to the level around me.
Yeah.
And then just the levels in general were just all super forgettable. Like outside of the World 8 Bowser level was pretty good design wise, and then that
Spoilers.
that 8-bit level with like the 8-bit characters that you're platforming around on.
Yeah.
I forget what world that was. It was one of the earlier ones.
What about
that was
this,
a pretty good
It's like
level
World
design.
1, I
but-
think.
What about that like sky level where you were just like falling a bunch? Like there was just like a lot of sky to fall through. I know that's
It was
not
alright.
very descriptive.
It was alright.
But yeah. It was
Like at best, some of these levels are just alright. And when I'm playing a Mario game, I want level designs that are really good.
Mhm.
They feel innovative, or somebody had a really good idea for something they wanted to do. And I just didn't get any of that from this game. It just felt really media. It felt like they needed something to launch on the 3DS that would show off what the 3D was capable of. And
Yeah.
it pulls off the 3D well, but I get a headache as soon as I look at 3D on a 3DS, so I couldn't use any of that really.
Aww.
Yeah.
So in the end, I was just left with like, it was just a really mediocre experience, and for a Mario game, that makes it worse. Like, I just hated this game. I really did not like it.
All right. Well, what about on your 10-point scale, Chris?
Oh, it's like a 2.
Ooh.
Whoa, jeez.
It's like, especially with how many other great Mario games are out there, there's no point in playing this game.
What floats it above a 0? Or 1? I don't know what the base of your scale is.
I mean,
It's got Mario in it.
it's got good music. I will say,
It functions.
the main theme, it does play, it doesn't crash,
Yeah.
and it doesn't have a Bitcoin miner hidden in it somewhere, so that's good.
Oh my god. So
But
low.
it's also got a good theme. The main theme for 3D Land is really good.
Yeah. I like
Tanuki?
too.
But yeah, other than that, it's just so forgettable. And there's just, like I said, there's no point to go back and play this game outside of like, for something like this.
What about you, Austin?
Oh, so this is my second time playing all the way through this game, and I was hoping it would grow on me, because when this first came out, everyone raved about it, and I thought it was fine, but I didn't really like it that much, and it was a game that I never really wanted to play again, so I was not very happy that it got chosen for Video Game Club. But I was like, let me give it a chance. Let's see how it is. Maybe I've changed a bit. And man, the first half, like everything before the special worlds, is just brain dead. There's just no. Okay, I played the first half of this game on an emulator to record footage, and I played the second half on a 3DS. So I've got like some different perspectives here. Playing with a controller, it like it felt better in my hands, but it's just a really dull game. Like even on the 3DS joystick, it just, the only difference there was like my hand hurt more. Mario controls very stiffly, and I think they did that because you're holding a 3DS and you're using that crappy joystick, and to make it more doable on the go, they made Mario's controls really stiff. So it's hard. You have to really turn the joystick a lot to get Mario to turn as well. Otherwise, he's going to kind of just follow a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And that just doesn't really... That doesn't feel great in a Mario game. They built the levels around that as well, so the levels are very simplistic. Once you get to the special worlds, the tutorial's kind of over, and you actually get to start playing like some game, and that made the game grow on me a bit more. It went from being like a game I hated and that was really dull to being probably just my least favorite 3D Mario game. It's just... when you get to the special worlds, you're just replaying the original levels, but remixed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get to the unlock requirements for getting the final level, like you've replayed these levels like 5 times or more, to where I was like, I don't remember. Why do I remember these levels so much? Like I would remember specific things about them, even though the levels weren't very memorable on their own. And when I hit the special worlds, I remembered, oh, right, you play through these levels so many times over and over again.
Wait. In like Bravely Default, you play levels over again, and everyone hated it for that reason. How compare that to this?
So, let's see. It's like the same level layout, but they changed like enemy placements and...
So you don't play the exact world.
Like... It's not the exact world, but it's the same layout, which is why that becomes a memorable map layout. And it's like, sometimes the ladder requirement, like you have 30 seconds to get through the level, and you have to keep getting clocks.
Yeah.
Why the hell in the regular levels did they have clocks everywhere? Like, who's struggling with 400 seconds on the clock to get through this tiny level? You know, and they would add them like everywhere. Like, oh, you're probably really going to need this. Like,
yeah,
that was very
maybe
weird.
they wanted to promote exploring, maybe like, oh, people will explore more if they have more time.
You get a coin bonus too, right?
Maybe, but there's just very little to explore. Well, who needs the coin bonus? By the time I finished World 8, I had 150 lives.
Oh my god, I know. There were so many times where I was just throwing lives away to get the golden Tanuki thing just so I could breeze through a level I did not want to play.
I mean, why have a life system at all, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't really
That was a weird archaic
I guess
remnant.
that was for them to have a reason for coins to exist, I guess. But, you know, maybe add a shop where you can buy power-ups if you're really struggling on a level.
That would be cool.
And then you can use coins for that. I think that would be a better way to do that. So the first half, the star coins are like kind of hidden in certain places where it's like a lot of times you'll just see them, but if you really want to get all of them, you'll have to explore a little bit. And once you get to the special worlds, that's really not the case anymore. They really just like put them in plain sight and go, well, here's a little bit of a platforming challenge to get this one.
Would you prefer them to hide them?
Yeah, I want to explore. Like make the level like have little secrets, but make the level interesting enough to make me want to explore, right? But like when it's secret, it's a level I don't want to explore in the first place. But once I'm actually like having fun with the game, they're like, well, nothing to hide, just do the platforming stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, the Tanuki suit shouldn't have been used for this game. It should have been the raccoon suit, and even then, it doesn't work the same. Like, you can't fly.
Yeah, you can't.
I had similar problems to Chris, where I couldn't really tell where I was if I was floating down from somewhere unless I was looking at my shadow, but sometimes, like, they would show you sideways. They wouldn't show where your shadow was, so I would fall off into nothingness because I can't see in 3D. So when I all the sections that required you to use 3D really sucked for me, and I could see why people would get excited about it. It's like, hey, an actual use for this feature on the system that I just bought.
Yeah.
But as someone who can't see in 3D, I'm really glad that they didn't stick with that gimmick for future games.
Well, and they did a great job of making it excellent, but not like you don't need it in Treasure Tracker. Like, it's so I can't even believe you play it without 3D, but now that you say it, yeah, you don't need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't need it. If it's something that's nice to have that adds some like coolness to it, then that's great. But making it something that's like part of the core gameplay, a little bit rough. Yeah. There were some little things I liked. It had lots of homages to older Mario games, like whenever you take out a Bowser in one of the old original worlds, it's like he'll transform into like a Goomba or something like that with a Tanuki.
Yeah, and it has the whole like cut the bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cut the bridge stuff.
It had like nice little touches and homages to the older games. It was nice to see.
Yeah.
I liked playing. I liked playing the special worlds more. They were never good enough for me to really just like take it to being like I really loved this game or anything like that. But it took it from being a really mediocre game in general to being a decent game that I would probably give like a 6 or a 7 to. But as a Mario game, I would say maybe for your, like, if you've got a kid that you're trying to get into Mario, like maybe this can be their first Mario game. But even then, it's just...
There are better ones.
Even then, I'd be more likely to recommend like
just very
Super
easy.
Mario World or something instead of this.
Or there's I forget which one it is, because they all have similar names where you can play like co-op and your friend can like help you get through the level if you fail.
New Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
That whole series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also say probably steer clear of most of those, but what do I know?
Better than this one. Well, sorry.
They are better than this.
Some of them.
Pick up 3D World and Bowser's Fury on Switch. Just do that. Just go there, right? I mean,
that's a much better version of this game. This one has been cut down by trying to make a 3D Mario game on a system, on a portable system where a lot of the joy of playing through a Mario game is lost by trying to make it work for a portable. And it's great that they found a way to do it. I don't think that that's something that should have been done. Yeah. I hope I never play this game again. If I ever joined a different video game club, I'm sitting out if this game ever gets picked again.
What about the kitty one? And again, the names are also just...
That one's great.
Okay.
And that's if you took this game and you made it for a console, then you get that. It is a much better game because it's got more interesting levels, it's got more interesting power-ups, it's got controls that actually work, and it's got the only co-op in a Mario game that doesn't suck balls.
Jeez.
So,
speaking of testicles.
So you said, what was your score, Austin?
I'd give it a 6 or 7 just as a game. Okay. As a Mario game, I will give it... I'm not going to score it as a Mario game. I'll just say this is probably a Mario game that you should not play. If you're looking to play through the entire Mario series, go for it. Or just understand that you can really skip this one and not lose anything of value.
All right. Well, that was Super Mario 3D Land. As you can tell from just listening to us talk about it, we loved it.
10 out of 10, everybody go buy. Game of the year, every year.
At least this wasn't like a tiny indie developer and we're like ruining their life by telling them that their life's work is like the worst thing ever. It's Nintendo.
That is true.
They made this.
It's Nintendo, it's Mario, and Mario has done great things since then.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing I forgot to say. In the first half, when I played this on an emulator, it looked amazing because I scaled up the internal resolution.
Oh.
And Nintendo could very easily just do that same thing and replace some of the HUD textures that looked a little fuzzy,
and then port it
and make it an HD version. And there's a reason they haven't done that, because this would be the most boring Mario game ever if you played it on a console.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was Super Mario 3D Land. Our next game will be... Drum roll while I just triple check here. Thank you. It is going to be 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors.
Yay!
Yes!
So
such a good game.
Thank you all for voting. And we should say that you can play this on DS, Steam, PS4, and PS Vita. So it's pretty accessible.
The Vita.
I recommend playing it on anything but the DS.
What? I played
the DS
it on
version's
the DS.
great. I know, I did too. I played all the way through it on the DS, and it was great. It was one of my favorite games. I will say, if you're trying to get multiple endings, play it on something other than the DS, because it makes it much, much better.
They let you skip the text.
Yeah, and then you've got to replay the gameplay sections. You got to watch through it's still pretty long to skip through that text.
Yeah, I played it. There's a lot of...
But you get a much better timeline system that you get to use if you play it on any of the remakes.
Well, and if you buy the Switch one, you get the other two.
What?
I think on Steam, at least, you also get one of the other. Is it
on? It's on Switch as well.
I'm sorry. Did I say Switch? I meant to say PC.
Steam. Okay.
Wait.
Okay. Yeah, you get one of the other two games.
Oh, you don't get both of them?
You get no, because that was released like in preparation for the third game coming out.
Oh, I see.
And it's called something else on Steam, isn't it?
On Steam, it's called
Zero
Escape, the Nonary games.
Okay.
And and that is a 2-pack game.
So 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. Thank you everyone for voting, and thank you everyone for joining us. Again, just as a reminder, you can catch us here on twitch.tv/BombchuTV every 2 weeks at 2 Eastern, some other time, some other place, with the next stream being on February 28th. And if you can't make the live session again, don't worry. You can find this episode up on YouTube. Lena, thank you so much for the bits. Before we leave, Austin, Chris, me, what's Bombchu working on? Is there anything we should be watching out for? I want to plug that every Tuesday I stream a new game that I've never played before at 8 o'clock Eastern, and on Friday Austin streams as well, and we might get Chris to start streaming here soon too.
Yeah, as soon as I can get a good stream set up for my room, I will I'll be doing speedrunning of Parappa 2 most likely, because I'm still trying to get the world record on a couple categories for that. So yeah, as soon as I can get a more consistent setup for that, I'll start streaming some speedrunning as well.
Awesome.
You could live in a closet like Austin.
Yeah, I could just do that.
Live in a closet I just recorded.
Trapped in a closet. Yeah, and we have a video coming out that the amazing Andron is working on right now. So stay tuned.
Woohoo!
Austin, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me.
Mox, thank you.
Thank you.
Chris, thank you for joining us for a second time.
Yes, it was a pleasure as always.
I'm Tyler, and this was Video Game Club, Episode 17, Super Mario 3D Land, and we are out. I'd like to give a special shout out to Michael Slater, Blake Harms, and all of our patrons over on Patreon. Thank you, and thank everyone for watching.